The opening night of the NBA's regular season means so many different things to so many different people. For me, it means another year of disappointment for the Knicks, although their jerseys are pretty cool this year. And for the GMs calling the shots, it's a chance to see if their off-season moves will work out for them. And that brings excitement on its own, regardless of what the final scores might say when everything's all said and done, because our favorite sport is back full-time. With superstar players involved, opening nights have carved out some gems in the last couple of decades. This year, the Warriors vs Nets, Curry versus Durant, and the Lakers vs Clippers, Battle of LA, are the games that will get the 2020-21 season started. But before we jump into some of the most memorable open night games, please remember to hit the like and subscribe button and make sure to share the video if you enjoy it. First on our list, we have the Lakers versus the Bulls. When? December 25th, 2011 in Los Angeles. After months of negotiations, the lockout-shortened 2011-12 season finally got underway on Christmas Day, and what a gift it was. The Lakers and Chicago Bulls didn't take long to prove that this present was worth the wait. The two teams couldn't have been at a more opposite end of the basketball spectrum. Chicago was looking to build off their 2011 Conference Finals appearance, and LA was simply looking for an identity that year. Chicago grabbed an early lead and carried a 7-point advantage into halftime, but the Lakers looked re-energized out of the locker room, holding the Bulls to just 12 third-quarter points while grabbing a 1-point lead by the end of the quarter. Steve Blake's three-pointer with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left in regulation gave LA an 85-77 lead, but the Bulls closed the game on an 11-2 run, while D. Rose proved his MVP status by burning a go-ahead jumper with just 4.8 seconds left to give the Bulls an 88-87 edge. Luol Deng was Chicago's real hero. He scored 7 of the team's final 11 points and blocked Kobe Bryant's potential game-winning shot to close the game. Next, we have the New York Knicks versus Boston Celtics in 2011. When did this game take place? Another Christmas Day opening game on December 25th, 2011 in New York. The New York Knicks had just signed center Tyson Chandler over the summer to serve as a defensive complement to the team's dynamic scoring duo of Carmelo Anthony and Amar'e Stoudemire, and were ready to contend in the East. This was Boston versus New York, and the rival cities were each entertaining thoughts of a title. For all of the hype though, this game appeared on its way to being a blowout victory for the Knicks. A 6-0 run led by Iman Shumpert and Tyson Chandler gave New York a 17-point lead midway through the second quarter. But NBA games are often a series of runs, and the Knicks are a team who love to have teams run on them. After Boston trimmed their deficit to 10 points by the end of the first half, they completed the comeback on Rajon Rondo's basket with 7:13 left in the third. Boston's lead got as high as 10 early in the fourth, but New York rallied to even the score 3 times over the final 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Melo helped the Knicks reclaim the lead on an 18-footer with 1:34 left, and after Marquise Daniels tied the game with the layup, Melo was at it again as he knocked down 2 free throws to push New York in front 106-104 with 16.3 seconds left. Boston had several opportunities but couldn't convert, and the Knicks survived. Next, we have the San Antonio Spurs versus the Phoenix Suns. October 28, 2003 in San Antonio. For the San Antonio Spurs, the 2003-2004 season began with dynasty talks. The Spurs had climbed the game's ultimate mountain with a 6-game series victory over the New Jersey Nets in the NBA Finals. Yes, they used to play in New York, New Jersey. In the game, the Suns stormed out of the gate and flew to a 16-2 lead just 7 minutes into the game, but San Antonio chipped away, as they always did. As Phoenix's lead over the next 17 minutes and had it down to just 4 points by half, the Suns built their advantage back to double digits 3 times in the third quarter, but the Spurs closed the quarter on an 8-0 run heading into the fourth. The next 10 plus minutes saw a lot of back and forth struggles for the lead, but the Spurs still hadn't found their way to a lead. Stephen Marbury split a pair of free throws to give Phoenix an 82-79 lead with less than 90 seconds left in the game, but Bruce Bowen answered with a jumper to make it a 1-point game. Despite leading for just 50.4 seconds in the entire game, the Spurs squeaked out of the contest with an 83-82 win. Tim Duncan finished the game with 24 points, 12 boards, 6 blocks, and 4 assists, while Stephen Marbury led the way for the Suns with 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 dimes. Next, we have the Los Angeles Lakers and Houston Rockets, October 26, 2010, in LA. With the chance to complete their second three-peat season since 2000, the Los Angeles Lakers faced enormous expectations for the 2010-2011 season. Unfortunately for Houston, even though Yao was back, it was evident early on that this was nothing like the Yao that the Rocket fans remembered. Before being replaced by Brad Miller after his first 7 minutes of the meaningful basketball game in more than a year, he missed 3 of his first 4 shots and was whistled for defensive goaltending and turned the ball over on a steal by Ron Artest, aka Meta World Peace. Despite hauling in 11 rebounds, Yao never hit his stride. He shot 4 of 11 from the field and had 4 turnovers before fouling out after less than 24 minutes of action. Led by a few players, the Rockets built an 11-point lead by the 1:47 mark of the third, but LA trimmed the deficit to 4 points. Kobe Bryant scored to give LA a 107-102 lead with 1:45 left in the game. But Houston scored 8 of the game's next 10 points, and the Rockets pulled ahead 110-109 on Luka Scola's shot with 29.5 seconds remaining. But Steve Blake had one more long-range bomb to drop. This one 27 feet from the basket with less than 19 ticks left on the clock. The Lakers survived with a 112-110 win. Dallas Mavericks versus Phoenix Suns. November 1st, 2005 in Phoenix. The Dallas Mavericks and Phoenix Suns opened the 2005-2006 season with a rematch of the 2005 Western Conference Finals. Their respective leaders were former allies, Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki. Nash and Nowitzki led their respective clubs through a wild 48-minute fight that saw the Mavericks erase a 10-point deficit over the final 4 minutes of regulation. Nowitzki and Jason Terry converted an 86-79 Suns lead at the 2-minute 48 seconds mark to a 90-88 Mavericks advantage with only 15.3 seconds remaining. But Nash earned a trip to the foul line on the Suns' next possession to even the score at 90 with 4.4 seconds left on the clock to go into overtime. And after the first overtime, it was tied again. In the second overtime, the Suns managed just 7 points due to fatigue, and none in the final 2 minutes. Dallas ended up with a 111-108 escape from the desert. Houston Rockets versus Los Angeles Lakers. October 30th, 2007, in LA. This game with the Rockets saw Bryant as a full-blown gunslinger. Since LA's front office had surrounded him with old washed-up veterans and the Mamba had no other choice, there wasn't a lot of talk about Bryant taking too many shots because without him, no one would even care about the Lake Show. The two teams combined for 188 points in this game, more than half of which came from either Kobe Bryant 45, McGrady, who had 30, or Yao Ming, who chipped in 25 points of his own. And in Kobe fashion, he did what he could to salvage the night for the home crowd, scoring or assisting on 10 points during the Lakers' 13-0 run that evened the score with 13 seconds left in the game. However, Shane Battier buried the go-ahead tray from 27 feet with just 2.5 seconds remaining. But Kobe then was fouled. After making the first, Bryant missed the second, but the Lakers couldn't grab the rebound in time to attempt another shot. The Rockets escaped Staples Center with a 95-93 win for a great opening night game. Which opening night game was the most memorable for you? Was it one from our list? Let us know in the comments below. Check out some of these videos that appear on your screen.